This is Gen Alpha music.
I don't know, but I think everyone can tell we don't know the song.
All right, yeah, tell you all about it.
Woo, tell you all about it.
Tell you all about it. Good morning.
You think you can do it like we do it? I don't doubt it. Any obstacle will find a way around it. Indeed. That was The Spark by Rhyme Island.
Rhyme Island.
No
That's
idea.
a whole different island. That's a whole different island.
Oh, they're a bunch of 12-year-olds.
They're a bunch of 12-year-olds?
Huh.
All right. Sounds lovely.
Oh, the luck of the Irish.
Oh, dearie. Me bonny lass.
What? What? But no, on a serious note though, good morning, Sunrisers. Happy Tuesday. This morning we are choosing to find our spark. So embrace your uniqueness and radiate your joy to those around you. That's the energy we need, right?
I like it.
Yeah.
It's not the road program, the Spark Road program, but it is.
Hey, I can't
It's a spark.
It's a spark.
It is a spark.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so we're going to be kicking off with your quote of the day. Step out of the history that is holding you back. Step into the new story that you are willing to create. That's Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
Step out of the history that's holding you back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually do. I'm feeling that. I think a lot of people are weighed down by what happened in their life. And often, you know, sometimes the weight is very heavy and it's a big burden to bear.
It is.
But the truth is we do have the power to acknowledge what has happened and what is a part of our history. Do the work, do the introspection, and we can place it where we need to place it and move through it and not walk around with that weight, you know?
I think lots of people, some families more than others, some cultures, some societies more than others, live with the weight of an ever-present yesterday.
Yes.
And so because of that, like, oh, we have to do it. Why do you do it that way? Because that's how Mama taught me to do it. That's how. So why we make the dumpling like this? That's how Mama taught me, and that's how her mother taught. But is there a more efficient way? Like, do we have to grate the coconut and juice it like that? Can we not use a blender?
Which then begs the question, tradition versus newness, freshness, reinvention. And I guess it's always the juxtaposition of
continuity and change.
Yes, which is what life is.
Yeah, exactly. And there has to be a healthy balance between continuity and change, because you need something to ground you.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have tradition and continuity, then you end up being rudderless.
You know what's really funny about you saying that? I remember a few months back I tweeted that Israel was writing a paper for school, and I heard her voice commanding her laptop with the essay. And I looked over and I was just like, why are you talking to the laptop? I was like, no, you need to type it. And she was just like, Mommy, it's going to take me so much longer to type it. And then I was just like, So I tweeted, I said, is it ridiculous of me to think that, you know, she should be typing it, you know, for the spelling, for grammar, for so-and-so? Or like, do I need to like step into this new world and allow her to more efficiently complete the paper and get her thoughts out? And you'd be surprised to know that majority of people said, no, let her voice it, and then she can go over and make any edits she needs to grammatically, and she still gets the benefit of language and grammar. And I was just like, I don't know, but maybe I'm trapped in tradition.
I don't agree.
Know.
And it's not tradition. I think that, for instance, even with certain things like students listening to you and say, like, sir, can I just record you?
No.
And I will say no, because there are certain and there are cognitive pathways that are opened up when you write it. So I want you to write it. Have you ever been in an exam and they ask you a question and you remember the day when you wrote it? You remember the page where you wrote it.
I can close my eyes and actually trace my pen and be like, right, that was this.
Yes.
Exactly. You're correct.
Exactly. So I'm saying, no, you need to write that.
Okay, so maybe I'm not just being old school.
No. I think that there are...
MAGA.
All right, so here's a yachty fact for today. Jamaica was the first country in the Western Hemisphere world to build a railroad. I knew that. Building a railroad just 18 14 years after Britain was built in, it was after Britain, sorry, it was built in 1845 from Kingston to Angels near Spanish Town after being proposed by Manchester native William Smith and his brother David. Yes,
I'm
aware
assuming
of
that's
that.
not the David of the the lints.
There's no lint.
I know, I'm not David. But you know, honestly, I remember learning this fact when I was in prep school, and I remember being like, "Whoa, we are so cool."
Long before many places in the United States, and that is why it kind of pained my heart when we never managed our railroad so that it could be a modern form of transportation. It gradually became inefficient. But I mean, we had electricity in St. Elizabeth long before many places in the Western world.
I was going to say, we also, the electricity fact also rings true as well as the transportation. But I honestly wish we could have a rail system that runs efficiently again. I think it would be fantastic to have a rail system that literally goes across all of the south of Jamaica and the north of Jamaica.
I wish.
I really think it would be cool. Even if it run alongside the highways, and so the kids can get on the rails and jump off at their locations for school.
I think that dream, though, I think the fact of the highways is why there's no rail system.
Yeah, but highway equates vehicular traffic.
Yes.
Rail system does not, well, highway don't necessarily speak to the children who don't have access to vehicles.
No, I agree. No, I agree. But what I'm saying is, I think that the moment we went with the highway and we signed certain agreements, that the railway was kind of dead. But I'm sure Mike Henry would have a word or two because he was very.
I think it could happen in tandem. I would love to see it. Honestly.
Now I feel like the train that you see us pop out every now and again. It's really just a novelty. Yeah. It's just a novelty.
Versus like an everyday.
Like a real option.
I have to go, I need to get on my train. My train leaves at 8:05.
Yeah.
You know?
Like if we had a proper railway system, man, that would solve a lot of the traffic issues.
It would alleviate a lot of the congestion. Yeah. And then in turn improve productivity.
Absolutely. And if people knew that there was a reliable public transport system. Man.
Honestly, I really feel, let's look into it. Ask Minister Vaz. He's very active. Also, we're going to send some more congratulations. We're still in congrats pep mode. So Sunrise Pep star, Tyra Brown from Avondale Prep, who got her first choice for Holy Childhood. It's coming from your mom and dad, Suan and Howard Brown. Big congratulations to you. Also, big thanks to her class teacher, Miss Woolcock, for her extensive work.
You know, I'm just going to say big up to Stella Maris Prep, who did exceptionally well.
Nice.
I saw a report of the school, and the school did just exceptionally well once again. Big up to the Stella Maris family and the grade 4 to 6 teachers, all the teachers, because you lay a foundation and then you build on it. Yeah, so big up to Stella and all the other schools. You have some schools who are quietly doing very well, you know. They're doing so well, and I'm so proud of the work that they're doing.
But what I also saw this morning, as I lay in bed at 3:30, I was reading, and I saw a report that said the 2019 figures in terms of the percentage passes. So a pass would be, so how PEP is graded is you're determined to be beginning, developing, proficient, or highly proficient in each area. The areas are math, language arts, science, and social studies, right? And apparently we have improved significantly, like almost a 20% point from 2019 until now in all areas. And I think that speaks volumes. In terms of the type of pressures that the children feel and the mental and emotional aspect, I'm not 100% sure. I can't speak to it. I'm not a psychologist. But if you look at hard numbers in terms of the results, it would appear as though we are improving in numeracy and literacy across the board.
Well, I think we're doing so much to get there. What I like, and I'm standing by it, that I think that the PEP is a better method of assessment. Now, whether or not you're going to say in terms of the fairness of allocation of high school spaces, that's another story. We have the history of the education system is what it is, but in terms of an assessment, I think it's a more fair assessment. I think it's a better assessment.
It's definitely far improved from the previous assessment.
I do agree, you know. I think that it modernizes, it's a better modernization of common entrance than GSAT was.
Yeah. The one thing I would say though is what I would love to see happen is the education system across the entire playing field be so equal and on par, everyone be at the same level, that no matter what you do is matriculate to the school in your area. And that way everyone has access to the same level of education, and you don't have a bunch of kids fighting to get to
the same schools.
Group of 10 schools in Kingston or 5 schools in Clarendon. That's one thing I would love to see.
Again, that's a challenge of the history of the education system, because it wasn't, we're coming from school for the elite, education for the elite, and so we have a hierarchical system and that we're trying to modernize, and it is difficult.
It is.
So, I mean, I don't know that we're going to get there for now, that we can have zones.
Maybe our grandchildren will be the ones who just go to the school in their zone and take the train there.
Let's get there.
Hop off their train.
You know, there's an artist that back in the 90s I used to love. And my brother used to love him as well. Spanish Town Man, Super Cat.
Oh.
Super Cat.
Is it in the,
if you're an man who ever gave in each and every town, in a word for the DVD DJ, them cause you know so the whole of them a clown. Them no worry, So, his birthday is today.
Nice.
And so we are bigging up Super Cat. Look at Super Cat.
Wow.
Yo, yeah, that's the Super Cat I remember. Yeah, man. That's a Super Cat I remember. Anyway, big up Super Cat. Widespread popularity. Big up to him. Big up to all people celebrating a birthday. And of course,
Well, you know, the only thing that makes sense on the back of that is to go to a mixtape that honors the one and only Super Cat.
Yeah.
Is it Mr.